and tennis.
Welcome to UDISA, the program that gives you information, facts, and analysis. I'm so glad to be here. My name is Shegun Johnson. Today we are looking at exactly 100 days to Olympics. How is Nigeria preparing? We understand that Nigeria in various fields are preparing all over the world. All the Nigerian Olympics, athletes, they're all over the world preparing right now. Maybe we have a glimpse of what is going on, and in, of course, other African states. Here in England, so many things have happened in the last 7 days. Maybe we just take one or two. How about witchcraft being taught to your children in primary and secondary school? That's the latest here in England. And they are starting the test case from Cornwall. I love to see, we love to hear from you what you think. Your children learning about witchcraft in their RE lesson. These are the things we'll be looking at. And of course, the mayoral election is still warming up, and looks like Boris Johnson may have an edge at the moment, but nobody is complacent. David Cameron was what with Boris Johnson, try to garner more votes. How about you? How are you voting? Who is going to help you in your own borough for the London mayor? We are going to be examining some of these today. How about James Ibori? What's the linkage between Nigeria and Britain concerning money laundering? How was it possible for James Ibori to launder such money without the complicity of Barclays Bank and other financial institutions here in the United Kingdom? These are serious questions that need to be answered. But then I have in the studio people who can do justice to these. I have, as usual, our roving ambassador and who gives us legal assistance in many of our issues, Priscilla Nwipo. Priscilla, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Doug. Good morning.
We also have a man who gives us more of Nigerian issues and with the rights to law, and he's going to frame it himself. He's Otumba. Otumba, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Johnson.
Yes, it's good to be here, and we have many issues today we are looking at. Let's start from where we ought to start. What have you sent your child to study at school, especially the religious education? Let me read this report, and we'd like to hear your views. It says that this report says that paganism has been included in an official school religious education syllabus for the first time. Cornwall Council has told its schools that pagan beliefs, which include witchcraft, druidism, and the worship of ancient gods such as Thor, should be taught alongside Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. The requirements are spelled out in an agreed syllabus drawn out by Cornwall's area advisory group. Required learning. School children in Cornwall will soon be studying pagan religions like druidism and witchcraft. It says that from the age of 5, children should begin learning about standing stones such as Stonehenge. At the age of 11, pupils can begin exploring modern paganism and its importance for many in Cornwall. The syllabus asks that area of study should include the importance of pre-Christian sites for modern pagans. And it goes on to say that the council's initiative has dismayed some Christian campaigners who are alarmed that a religion once regarded as a fringe eccentricity is increasingly gaining official recognition. We would like to hear your views. You sent your child to school and is being taught witchcraft. Will you approve, or will the parents have any say at all? But we went to the website of witchcrafts to see what kind of syllabus they will be exposed to when they get to school. This is the official website of witchcraft in the United Kingdom. We just want to read it to you so that you have an idea what they will be taught. If you open that website, this is what it says. Do you know that witchcraft is more than just a religion? To some, it's a world of magic and holds many secrets. To others, it's a way of life. whether you believe in this or not, then let me guide you through the magical secrets and fascinating world of witchcraft. If you are like me, who have been traveling in this road for quite some time or is new to this path, then let this website help you in giving information as well as other services that guides through this world. And it goes on to say, I am Witch Kerry and welcome to my world of witchcraft. I want you to look outside of your box and be open-minded about this path that you are taking or might be experiencing. And it goes on in different ways. It says, this is a practice religion and it's called witch or Wicca in the Old English. The people who believed in this faith are called witches or Salem witches. This belief is neither black nor white because it's a religion which respects nature in any form. There are certain spells that are learned and used but must adhere to the rule or its code of conduct respected by all witches and Salem witches. And later in the program, we'll give you the acts that guide witches and witchcraft in England. According to this website, it says that witches are not allowed to cast evil spell on people or spells that will torment people. And if they do, they will be adequately punished. But we find on the same website that there are some adverts, and I just want to read to you 3 adverts on their official website. The first one is make him addicted to you. Make him addicted to you. 9 magic words you must say to make him fall deeply in love. Another advert says, jump into abundance. Learn to jump into another universe where you have money. Another advert says, curses are revenge. Spells, curses, voodoo deals, retribution, and many more. Why don't you call this now? Now, these were the adverts we saw, and we want to hear your view on that. But before we proceed, Priscilla, you've sent your child to school, and what is being taught in RE, religious education, is witchcraft. How do you respond?
I mean, I just hope that, when this thing is being rolled out, that parents are being invited, first and foremost, to be informed of the fact that they want to now include this in the syllabus. Thereafter, as part of the curriculum, the parents are also given the option as to whether or not they want to permit their children. I think that from the age of 5, saying that you want to include this as part of what they should be learning, for me, I think it's quite dangerous, because from what you've just told us, from what is on this website and what, it represents, it doesn't represent something so positive from where I'm standing. It's representing a lot of manipulation. Why should we be talking about spells to make somebody do something? You're going to cahoot somebody into doing something that they wouldn't want to do ordinarily. Why should we be discussing casting spells on people so that revenge and retribution and things like that? I think that's dangerous, and I think
you are a Christian. What's the position of Christian on this?
As a Christian, from a Christian standpoint, as a Christian mother, and as an individual who believes in God, I think it's an absolute no-no. It should not be permitted. It shouldn't be allowed to go into the curriculum for the children to become. I can understand awareness, but this is going too far. Where awareness is concerned, it's going way too far, because what you're saying now is we're welcoming it into society. We're saying it's acceptable, but we live in a society where once upon a time witches were being burnt in this country.
Yeah, we're coming to that because we have the acts here.
Exactly. They were not allowed to practice this so-called religion once upon a time. It wasn't acceptable. It wasn't welcomed. And therefore, if you were a witch, you stayed hidden. You didn't come out. And even today, when did we start embracing witchcraft to the point now that we have to include it on the curriculum for our children?
Otumba, why didn't the council or the government make it a separate subject from RE? Because they call it witchcraft. It's a craft. It's like arts, like drawing arts. There's nothing to be afraid of about witchcraft. But if they must teach it in primary and secondary schools, why not put it in a separate subject so that parents will say, I don't want my child to take that subject? Why put it in RE? You are a Muslim. What will you say from your world?
Well, Muslim does not approve witchcraft in the first place. But then again, I want to say, the only difference between allowing my child to partake or to take part in witchcraft study or learning is, it will expose the act of witchcraft to her. And I must also say, in this country, there are many things the system allow. Issue of homosexualism, there are so many things which Christianity cannot do anything about it. So if it is said that witchcraft has to be taught at school, the only thing I will ask for is it optional? That if my child comes home and I explain to her,
I think they have made it not to be optional. That's why they've included it in RE. In RE, they teach Christianity, Islam, Judaism, now, and other known religions, Hindu, Buddhism.
Sikh,
Now they want to put witchcraft.
yeah, then Dr. Johnson, I will say to you that I will have nothing against it, because at the end of the day, it's another way of enhancing religion knowledge.
I think
Because
I think
the
it's
children,
early.
any which way, many things our children know, you and I will be amazed.
Oh, it's true.
So if
But
this
I
is taught at school,
What do you think? What do you think the children will gain from this knowledge
at age 5.
at age 5? What do you think will be gained?
the information probably.
Why
Be-
do they
because,
need that information?
The same information,
Yeah.
the same information given to them about different sexual orientations.
Yes.
So, yeah.
No, but they don't need this information. They don't need it because why will they?
If you and I have our way, we
Yes.
will not allow 5 to 10-year-old children to be taught about different sexual orientation at school.
I don't-
But here we
I
go.
don't think they start teaching that
but they
secondary school.
onto
I don't think they start teaching that
on primary
before-
school these days.
I don't think they start teaching it before secondary school.
Yeah.
But my major concern is that I think 5 years is far too early. Allow a child to be a child. Don't begin to teach them how to manipulate, how to curse, and how to,
Otumba,
Yeah.
cause somebody to do something
according
that
to
they don't want to
statistics,
do.
Yeah.
the 2001 national census statistics, there are about 40,000 pagans in England and Wales. And so out of 60 million people, only 40,000 are in modern paganism. Why should that override the rest of 60 million who are not and don't wish their children to do it, to learn about it?
Again, like I said, the system, the law of this country, it's a canopy where we're all under the law of this country. If the law says this is part of the religious curriculum that has to be taught at school, I personally take it as an exposure, as an information.
But don't you think it's a bad exposure? If you teach a child how to use a rope to hang himself, don't you think many children will go and try it at home? That's why on telly they say don't try this at home.
Yes.
So if you now teach them, do you think they will not try it?
But how many Hindus do we have in this country? Probably a few millions. And how many other religions do we have in this country? Still, these religions are being taught at school.
Yeah,
So
but a few
if-
million is more than 40,000.
Yeah, well, again, what do we do with the 40,000?
No.
They
You
are
see,
part of us.
paganism is taught at school. It is mentioned, but it is not mentioned as witchcraft.
Y-
It is not talked about as we're talking about a totally
You are
different
looking. You are
dimension
looking
here.
at Priscilla. You are looking at paganism from the Christianity point of
No,
point of view.
no,
And I'm
no.
looking. I'm looking at.
You're
I'm-
assuming I'm looking at
okay,
it from the
well,
Christianity
but I'm
point of
looking
view.
at this issue of paganism or no paganism from very open-minded point. I'm a Muslim. I do not want to start interpreting, even though Muslim does not approve paganism. But at the same time, here we are
Do they
changing
approve,
time.
do
See,
they
I don't-
approve
I-
teaching of witchcraft?
It's
No.
Oh, okay. I just
but
wanted
It's
to
not
know.
No,
about,
they
it's not
don't. But
about
what I'm saying
approving
is-
or disapproving.
Yeah.
I think what the issue here from where I'm standing, from what I'm looking at. First of all, if as we've just read about, the many things about witchcraft
Yeah.
and so on. What I want to know more than anything is what exactly will they be teaching within this curriculum? What aspects of it will they be teaching? Because if it is about manipulation, if it is about how to use magic, if it is about how to coerce people into doing things that they do not wish or they would not have ordinarily done,
Let me answer
then
let me answer your question from this report. Paganism encompasses numerous strands, from Druids who believe themselves to be practitioners of the ancient faith. And it says that they are practitioners of the ancient faith of pre-Christian Britain to Wiccans, modern witches who gather in covens, and shamans who engage with the spirit of the land. Cornish pagans include witches, who dress in robes, own broomsticks, and a black cart, and cast spells. They cast spells. I mean, how can you do witchcraft without casting spells? And
So then they'll be teaching the children how to cast spells at school at age 5.
Yeah.
Is that appropriate?
No, I'm not, like I said, I'm looking at the whole issue from the middle point. That, well, there are so many other things which are abomination in this country that have been allowed in the system.
Otuma,
but then, yes.
Otuma, this issue is very, very sensitive, and we have to pursue it very well. So we would like to take telephone calls.
Okay.
We would like to take your phone calls very soon on this issue. We are going on a break, and when we come back, we want to hear it because you are the parents. And if you are a witch or a wizard, we want you to come. We want to hear from you why our children must learn your religion. Yes, don't go away while I go on a short break. To you decide. We've been looking at teaching the children at 5 witchcraft and modern paganism, and we are saying that if you are a witch or a wizard, you believe that it should be taught in primary schools, in secondary schools. We want you to call in so that we can have a good discussion. In the meantime, I want to read for you the witchcraft acts that have governed witchcraft in the United Kingdom. In 1542, there was religious tension in England, resulting in the introduction of serious penalties for witchcraft. Henry VIII Act of 1542 was the first to define witchcraft as a felony, a crime punishable by death, and the forfeiture of the convicted felons' goods and charters. It was forbidden to use devised practice or exercise, or cause to be devised practice or exercise any invocation or conjuration of spirits, witchcraft, enchantments, and sorceries. In 1562, an act against conjurations, enchantments, and witchcraft was passed early in the reign of Elizabeth. In the Scottish Witchcraft Act of 1563, under the Scottish Witchcraft Act of 1563, both the practice of witchcraft and consulting with witches were capital offences. This act stayed on Scottish statute books until repealed as a result of a House of Lords amendment to the bill for the Post-Union Witchcraft Act 1735. In 1604, the year following James' accession to the English, the one of King James Bible, the Elizabethan Act was brought in to bring the penalty of death without benefit of clergy to anyone who invoked evil spirits or communed with familiar spirits. The Act's full title was An Act Against Conjuration, Witchcraft, and Dealing with Evil and Wicked Spirits. It was this statute that was enforced by Matthew Hopkins, the self-styled witchfinder general. What is called the benefit of clergy is that in those days, when you are a witch and you are caught, and you could quote a part of the Bible passage say John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. They will now send you to prison. They will not kill you. So they call it the benefit of clergy. That maybe you are a clergy person, you just dived into witchcraft. So instead of being hung, then you are saved. Then Herbert Act of 1735. The Witchcraft Act of 1735 marked a complete reversal in attitudes. Penalties for the practice of witchcraft as traditionally constituted, which by that time was considered by many influential figures to be an impossible crime, were replaced by penalties for the pretense of witchcraft. A person who claimed to have the power to call up spirits or foretell the future or cast spells or discover the whereabouts of stolen goods was to be punished as a vagrant and a con artist, subject to fines and imprisonment. So in 1735, the government believed that witchcraft was a con artist, and anybody practicing witchcraft was a liar, and therefore he will be punished as a liar, no longer as a spirit conjurer. And that was the position of the Acts of 1735. If you look at the Acts of 1951, it was titled Fraudulent Mediums Act. The Fraudulent Mediums Act 1951 was a law in England and Wales which prohibited a person from claiming to be a psychic, medium, or other spiritualist while attempting to deceive and to make money from the deception, other than solely for the purpose of entertainment. It was repealed on the 26th of May 2008. In the 1951 Act, you are free to call yourself a witch, but only for entertainment, because it was believed that it was a lie to be a witch, that nobody could conjure spirit from heavenly realm and that could do any of the voodoo that people attributed to witchcraft, and therefore they call it a fraudulent act. Now today there are still psychic people, medium people, but then they have not been prosecuted under that law. So this report, and it's official, there were 5 prosecutions under this act between 1980 and 1995, all resulting in conviction. The act was replaced by new consumer protection regulations following an EU directive targeting unfair sales and marketing practices. It also repealed the Witchcraft Act of 1735. It is sometimes said erroneously that until 1951, British law recognized witchcraft as real. In fact, the 1735 Act was first to recognize that magic is impossible, explicitly stating that it was an act against fraud. So the British government, the official position of the British government is that witchcraft is fraud, there's nothing like witchcraft, is a lie, and anybody who says is doing witchcraft for monetary purposes is a con and a liar. Why do they then put it in the religion curriculum? Is there any sense?
It doesn't make sense to me. I can understand. The other thing that it's also highlighting this issue and bringing this issue to the forefront today as it stands is recently in this country we've seen a number of high-profile cases where children have been killed because their guardians or parents believed them to be witches, and as a result of that they were killed, albeit innocently or for
absolutely,
which was unfortunate. And I can understand if the country or the government feels that we now need to do something about that situation. But I don't think the answer is introducing witchcraft in schools, because it is not the 5-year-olds that are killing these children, but it is adults. We need to look at ways of educating adults and not necessarily introducing this within the curriculum.
Otumba, sorry, you say believe that this thing should be taught in the schools at the age of 5? Do you still believe? Having read all these things, it's only in Israel that witchcraft will attract death penalty. You know, in Israel, they believe in the Bible, and at least the Judaism and Christianity in Israel, they believe in the Bible, and the Bible says that don't allow a witch to live. But if you are a witch or a wizard, listen to us. We want you to call in so that we can hear your view. We want to hear from all witches in England. Let them call in so that we can take your view. But in Israel, this act is still in force. If you call yourself witch in Israel, you will die. Yes.
Yeah. Even if you call yourself a witch in Nigeria, if you are known to be a witch, you'll be stoned to death anyway.
Is that supported by any act?
No,
or
it's
that's
not.
just a cultural?
It's just a cultural thing.
Oh no,
Nigeria.
in Israel,
Yeah.
it's an act.
It's an act, yeah. Now, what you just said now, that is a fantastic dimension you put into it. That if government now realizes or see that children are being killed because they are labeled to be witch, yeah. Now, and they want to use this medium, this opportunity to educate. Yeah, I agree with you that the people to be educated should be the adults, not the children. But at the same time, do not forget that making children to be aware of what we are talking about from now on will also enhance the probability.
It should be an option. That's what we say.
I
should be an option.
I said that also.
Because they'll be teaching them how to cast spell. But let's take extra call. Who knows who is calling? Maybe a witch is calling. Yes, good morning. Who is calling?
Hello, good morning, Dr. Johnson.
Yes, what's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
My name is Yomade Buramoibo. I'm speaking from Hawaii.
All right, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for the program that you are. But it's not only in Israel that witchcraft is lawful. In Saudi Arabia, if you are caught of practicing witchcraft, you will be headed. And then in Turkey, if you do the same thing, you will be headed. In all Arab countries, they do not allow it or be practicing, or even though or talking about the black magic. Once that you are caught, you are taken to the court, you will be headed. But having said that, one has to go back to how the witchcraft come in and how the witchcraft were being subjected or be pointed finger upon. It was happened during the time of the Roman Catholic, the Roman Empire. We have to understand that Roman Empire was very powerful and then ruled this particular country for so many years. And then they sold their own Bible, and then the traditional way of life of individuals are subjected to be cancelled. But the question is that whether the witchcraft should be taught in the school.
What's your position on that? What's your position? Should it be taught in school?
You see, it should be taught to let the children be aware. To let the children be aware.
At what age? At what age?
I will say that as far as I am concerned, I will say within age of 10 rather than age of 5.
Okay. Yes, but should it be optional? Some parents may say, I don't want my children to be taught how to cast spells.
You see, yes, I understand what you are saying. Many times, the parents always say what they do not want their children to be. But the law of this particular country is the law of parliament. Even though we can understand that when I was in Aringay as an officer there, where we started about the gay or no gay education, every parent jumped up and down about it, but it's not being a past issue. The gay right and lesbian right are not being taught in all the schools today.
I disagree with you. If during the sexual education, all primary schools that I know in London, the parents are given the right to say whether they want their children to be taught a particular sex education. They can come in and view the DVD, and then from there they will say whether they should permit their children or not.
At least 8 children grow up in this country and educated in this country, and then parents do not have any right except in Catholic school and in what we call in Jewish school. If it is a local government school, definitely is that way. Curriculum which is there by the governor.
My children went to Church of England schools, and I had a right to approve or disapprove. But thank you very much. We want others to contribute. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, you can Skype us. You can phone us. We want to hear. Do you want your children to be taught witchcraft in schools, especially as early as 5-year-old. Unfortunately, we are losing children being called witches and wizards, and so how do we handle this one? Because you raised that issue, which I think is still very important.
Very, very.
That,
I mean, the whole situation is where we've had these problems. I mean, so far.
Victoria Cleme,
Yeah.
the boy from France.
Yes. So far, we've had it within the black community. And I think what we need to do, is begin to educate the teachers.
I disagree with you that it's within the black community.
I
The
said
white
so far.
No. The white community do some rituals.
I'm
It's
not,
only that
I'm not disapproving.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just saying so far, what has been highlighted to us, what we have seen, what has been in the media,
It's more
is
of our
within
community, yeah.
our
There are some other rituals that are not called witchcraft, but they do. But then let's because these are some of the suicides, some of the mass suicide. Remember that happened in Wales. These are some of the tendencies. But let's listen to what our callers are saying. Hello, who is calling?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name, sir. Where are you calling from? And turn down the volume of your TV. Thank you.
Yeah, this is Francis from London.
Okay.
Yeah, witchcraft, according to Christians, is one of it's a demonish power. It's a evil spirit that can manipulate or even kill. So as for me, I don't want my daughter or my children to the school. I don't want it to be taught. What I will advise the government is that they would have separated from a religion to a different
Subject.
subject, so that it should be optional. If you like to practice it or learn it, it's okay by you. You have the right to decide for your children whether to learn it or not. But as a Christian, it's really against it because it's a demolish or satanic power behind it.
Do you know anywhere in the Bible that it says you should not teach your children about witchcraft? Is it possible you tell us?
Anyway, I know you are a Christian. You pray against demolish, not to attack you. You pray against satanic power, not to attack you.
Yes. So yes, but you can tell us if you know any scripture, because our viewers will want to know whether you are just making it up or not. Where in the Bible does it say that you should not learn about witches?
I spoken my mind easily.
Okay.
There's many paragraphs who always with
Okay, maybe I should help you out. I have a copy of the Bible in front of me. It says in Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 10, there shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that uses divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch. Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 10. That's what the Bible says. It says, don't allow your son or your daughter to be taught witchcraft. This is it very clear. Thank you very much for calling. We want to listen to you. If you are a witch or a wizard outside there, you are listening to us. You believe that all children in the primary and secondary schools should be taught about witchcraft. Give us a call or Skype us. We will hear you now. Yes.
Again, Dr. Johnson, the issue of Christianity and different form of or mode of religion is an open thing. It becomes what we all have to live with, because as it is today, there are gay priests, there are gay pastors, bishops, and so on and so forth. So really and honestly, we need to be very, very open in our approach.
Let's hear this. Hello, who is calling?
Hello, my name is Martin. I'm calling from Liverpool.
Okay, go ahead, Matt from Liverpool.
Martin.
My name is Martin.
Yes.
I'm calling from Liverpool.
Yes, Martin. Yes, what do you say? Do you want us to put this in our religious education curriculum?
He's listening to his TV.
Can you put down your television volume and listen to us directly, Martin?
Yeah, I'll do it now. I'll do that now.
Okay, so tell us your view.
I just want to, well, I'm a Christian, and I would agree with you that 100% of Christians will disapprove of this act. But in this United Kingdom, I think the English, they have an unwritten constitution, which means they're going to just keep changing their constitution every time. Their constitution is not written down. And I was a Christian in Nigeria before I came to England. And since I've come back, I understand that Christians are being marginalized in the UK, and they can't speak. They haven't got absolute freedom, and the society is sort of they brought Christianity low, where they compare it to witchcraft, they compare it to any sort of other religion. If you go out to people of English and say you're a Christian, some people probably will laugh at it.
Okay. So do you support it or you don't?
I don't support it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Lad Martin. It's just that we have to move on. Thank you. You have not supported it in the studio. They brought Christianity to Africa, especially England, so many missionaries, and said African gods are no. Now, all of a sudden, they're bringing pre-Christian idols called Thor, called wood. Now they want to bring it to our children. I just don't get it.
It's like it's going back. It's the reversal, isn't it?
Yes.
Of something that the very same people had moved the rest of the world away from. And
yes.
now, they're now going back.
Yes, they said we should drop all the African deities, and yet witchcraft says that they believe in male deity and female deity. They call them male god, female god, and all creatures, mountain trees must be worshipped.
I think this is an alarm bell, isn't it, for what society is becoming and what it is turning into. Because if, for instance, say if Muslims do not welcome it, if Christians do not welcome it, if Judaism does not welcome it, all other religion who perhaps do not see witchcraft as the same or that is of the same standing, are they going to sit back and say, okay, let's reintroduce back this to our children?
Well,
or is it time?
Let's hear what this guy has to say. Yes, hello, who's calling?
Yeah, hello. My name is David.
Yes, David.
I'm calling from London.
Okay, what's your take?
Yeah, I think witchcraft is, in Africanism, to me, is a kind of culture. I don't think it's religious.
Yes,
So,
I would have thought so. I don't think it's a religion. Yes, go on.
So and talking about Africa, or if you allow it in schools, I think a different platform should be created among Africans for Africans, because Africa is actually the origin of, the topic we
You mean Africa is the origin of witchcraft?
Yes, it's part of.
I don't think
No,
so.
no.
I don't think so. I think Africans will eat you up.
Yeah,
No, witchcraft has been all over the world over the years.
Yes.
No,
Many years.
we have to distinguish religion from culture. It's
Oh.
not a religion.
Okay.
It's part of a people's culture.
Okay, but there is a witchcraft in Europe, in England. There have been witchcraft all along, like we see all the acts.
Even down to Cuba, Brazil, that's the only thing most Westerners emulate about the black culture, witchcraft.
Okay, listen to what their website says. The website of witchcraft says, to create a spell to harm, manipulate, dominate, or control another person is very much forbidden in the world of witchcraft. The book, wait a minute.
Oh, it's
The
forbidden.
Book of Shadows serves not only as your guide, but your references for spells, for rituals, tables, and correspondences, divinatory meanings, and other things that you would like to know of and use for your consumption as long as you follow the order. So they believe in spells. They will teach you how to cast spells, but you are not supposed to use it and be punishing people. But they will still teach you rituals and divinatory issues. And these are the things they want to teach in primary schools. What do you say?
For me, I don't think it should be in school because one thing I've realized about Africanism and African culture is we Africans, we can read our books and do all good, but we're still a class group. Everything about Africanism is memorized. And I don't think it should be in schools because, I mean...
Okay, we'll just take it, Martin. It shouldn't be in schools. Thank you very much so that we can give others chance to come in. We want to hear, we still have a few minutes left. If you're a witch or wizard listening to us, why should your craft be called religion? Why should it be taken to children at the age of 5 and 11? We want you to call. Many of us believe that it's not a religion, it's a craft. So why should it be taught as an RE? Yes, good morning. Who is calling? Hello?
Hello, Servo.
Vincent, how are you?
I'm okay.
Yes. Do you think we should allow 5-year-olds to be taught how to cast spells?
No, my interest is this. What is that curriculum meant for? Is it?
Is to expose the children to all kinds of religion and to teach them about Stonehenge and stones and how to read stones, something like that. Now,
okay, maybe can one say it's part of enlightenment and nothing more? You have to put them in a situation where they will not be exploited. As they grow up, they will know the good and the bad.
I think it's more program of awareness.
When I was writing on reparations, I saw that they had witchcraft in the Mississippi Basin, and again, those coming from Africa. The last speaker talking about African culture. I want to say that witchcraft euphemism was in existence in the Latin America, and then was practiced in Deep South.
Okay, Vincent, you are an elderly citizen in the community. Were we not taught in Africa that we should do away with all our deities, our idols, our gods? There are no gods, and Christianity is the only religion we should embrace. And most Africans embrace Christianity, some Islam. Now, why are they trying to introduce in this Christian country? Why are they trying to take us to the old religion of worshipping wood and stone?
Yeah, well, you've just one of the participants has just mentioned that religion. I mean yourself, you mentioned in Israel, and you read out in Deuteronomy.
Yes.
The Lord said, "Thou shalt not
allow your sons and daughters to pass through fire and be given to enchantment, sorcery, or witch."
Exactly. I just assumed I just reaffirmed it. Now, before the arrival of Christianity, there was this deity, all sorts of, and culturally they believed in such pronouncements by the deity. So the Christianity came and brought that to wipe out all these beliefs. So, and then knowing Christian, as one of their contributors said now, with their constitutional rights or human rights, anybody that stands up every morning and starts propounding something, they will want to go ahead of every other person or group to show that they have liberty in this country. So it's up to you to accept or not.
Yeah, I think parents will soon gather and oppose this part of the RE. But we want to hear from others. Vincent, who knows? Some people say, well, it's just for awareness. Some people say it's for enlightenment. But we know that if a child is taught how to commit suicide, some children will try it. Thank you very much, Vincent. Yes, you have a right to call us. If you are a witch or a wizard, or you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, please give us a call. We want to hear from you. Yes, Otumba, you were to say something, but hold on.
Yeah.
Hello, who is calling?
Yeah, my name is Daniel.
Yes, where are you calling
And I
from?
want to quickly contribute in Dr. Johnson's discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, Dr. Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. I think it's a good topic we are discussing this morning.
Yes.
But there's no knowledge that is wasted.
Okay.
Because so many people think that there's secret about this what is it, witchcraft. In Africa, they try to keep our knowledge for so many things. But now, when they accuse that the children of five in one region, in one state in Nigeria, that they are practicing witchcraft, there's nothing wrong to educate people. Because when they teach you physics, not everybody will know everything about atomic weapons and
Okay.
destructive. And when they teach you so many other subjects like economics, not everybody will actually be practicing in capitalism.
So why do they say until you don't do this at home? They always ask the children, don't do this at home.
But they don't teach economics at age 5.
Form their own opinion.
But sir, they don't teach economics at age 5.
Well,
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm saying that
So-
they don't teach economics at age 5.
and you don't teach nuclear
I mean,
physics at the age of age 5.
I welcome awareness and all of that. I think it's great, but I think it's at the age with which we're introducing the children to witchcraft. There is a danger. That's my concern.
Now, I disagree with you that no knowledge is lost. I don't want to know how to kill, how to commit suicide, because I will never use it in my lifespan. So why do I want to learn about how to kill, how to murder, how to do terrorism? I don't want to know because I will never use it. So why waste my time on it? So I disagree with you that I must know all knowledge or all the children must know all knowledge. Are you still with us?
He's listening to his TV.
There's somebody, see, when they teach you witchcraft, when they teach you witchcraft or in the school, they are
Yes.
just giving you a kind of knowledge that you should know when the people are saying something. Okay, all right, let us take for granted that.
Are you a witch or a wizard? I want to know whether, are you a witch or a wizard? Let's know.
I'm not.
I'm just asking. No, I don't know. Because we want witches and wizards to call in so that we could have this dialogue with them. I see that you are standing in for them. That's why I'm asking.
So I'm not talking generally about I'm just talking generally about giving people the knowledge.
Oh, okay. All right.
The knowledge that you don't understand. All right. When somebody says that in one state in the eastern region before, the children are practicing witchcraft.
Yeah.
But we didn't understand that. But if people understand what the people are doing, they will be able to aware of that.
That's fine. That's fine. But teach the adults.
Let's be very
Teach the adults. It's,
People didn't understand very well.
but
Let's be
sir,
very frank. Let's be very frank about the eastern part of
Sir.
Nigeria you mentioned. Those who have been caught to brutally attack those children, they have been dealt with according to the law. It is wrong for anybody on earth, especially the parents, the adults, to punish any child whatsoever, to say that a child is bewitched, and that should be dealt with effectively. But the British government inadvertently, unwittingly, is trying to teach the British society how to bring witchcraft into the community, into the forefront, when only 40,000 out of 60 million. I can assure you, in 5 years' time, all the pastors in London, they will have a greater job to do, casting out demons out of children, because of what is about to be done. This is why this issue is very important. Are you still with us? Well, I may have to allow you to go because you listen to your telly, and if you still want to Skype us, we have a few minutes, and let's take this call. It's an outside call. Yes. Good morning. Who is calling? Hello. Hello. You are still on air. Who is calling? Hello. Yes, we can hear you now. Speak up loudly, please. Naomi from Abuja. Yes, love to hear you from Abuja. Yes, go on. What do you think?
she's watching her telly.
My view on it is partly of
Tell us later.
the line is so bad.
the Bible says, do not conform to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. How do you renew your mind? Is by what you hear every day. A doctor does not become a doctor by giving him to become a doctor. It's by what he hears on a daily basis that transforms him to be a doctor. Now that they said they want to teach external to become a witch, so do they want all our children to now become witches later? Right? So in white man country, anything goes. Anything they want to use their own institution where witchcraft can be practiced, let them separate their children from other children.
Yes.
So that they will not begin to bewitch them later on. Please, anything can go in white man country, but in our own country, it's not accepted.
What happens in Nigeria? I don't know what happens in Nigeria now. What happens to witches in Nigeria? Those who declare themselves witches.
In Nigeria, if you are a witch, so you see a cast house. Nobody wants to associate.
Yes.
And they can be stoned to death.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Witches in Nigeria have been cast them out, find them. In fact, some places they kill them. Nobody wants to associate with you.
Yeah, in Britain, in 16th and 17th century, they killed them too. But the laws change over the years. Do you think the law in Nigeria will change after civilization must have come in?
That can never happen in Nigeria.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you very much, Naomi from Abuja. We love hearing from people from Nigeria. God bless you.
Dr. Johnson, I think one area we should not ignore here, the issue of awareness. The issue of awareness is very, very important. Information and government government of this
what
country.
the last caller said was that awareness will lead them to practice it,
No,
and therefore they become witches.
No, I don't believe that.
You don't think so?
I
Yes,
don't
of
think
course,
so.
we're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
Good morning. Who is calling?
Good morning. My name is Ola from North London.
Okay. What's your take?
My take is I agree with Otumba.
Okay.
Even though I'm a Christian and I don't want it to be taught, what I believe is, because if you know when they brought a reverend to the program, the reverend said if they allow gay marriage, other people will arise and begin to say other things that they want the government to do. Now they want witches to be taught. Then it should be allowed because they are allowing other things that is wrong in the society.
So you believe it is wrong?
Excuse me?
You believe it is wrong, but it is because...
It is very wrong. But because they allow other things, then witches will come up to say they want witches to be taught.
But then there will be many, many, many wrongs within the community. If you want wrong thing...
I am not saying I want the wrong thing. That is why this thing has to be tackled from foundation.
Okay.
The foundation is that all those things that are wrong should not be allowed.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how much we cry over these things. You will see that they will still let it be taught.
It's already an act anyway.
Look at the Jews. They have their own schools. So nobody can tell them to teach that and that.
Yeah.
For instance, we need to, if indeed we don't want these things, then let us arise and take our children out of these schools and let us spend more money in creating schools.
Thank you. Well said.
I think that's part of it.
Yes.
But how many schools can we create within the system now? There are problems of logistics. But even then, if, let's say, witchcraft is a subject and a parent says, I don't want my child to be involved in that subject, but other children studying how to cast spells will be casting spell upon your own child who is not attending that subject. What do you say?
Yes, that subject, like I said, I don't like it at all to be taught.
Okay.
But what can we do in a system whereby anything goes?
All right then. Thank you
So
very
we can say we don't like it, you don't like it, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, let's tackle the foundation of the problem.
Okay.
And the foundation is that those things that are wrong should not be allowed.
Okay, thank you very much.
If
We're
you
about to
allow
closing
gay,
this
you have
segment
to allow
now.
witches.
We're very grateful, Ola from North London. The last tick in the studio because we're about to go on break. No witch, no wizard have called, so we just have to go on break. Yes, Otumba, your last take on this.
Yeah, my last take on this is I think it's an awareness program. And as much as I do not believe or support or want it to be, but then again, the issue of awareness we cannot overemphasize it. So if it's going to educate both the adults and the children,
supposing they are taught how to cast spells, and a spell is cast on you, and you start misbehaving, and you cannot explain. Nobody can explain. Listen, what is on their website? You see, what? No, wait a minute. They said it is. To create a spell to harm, manipulate, dominate, or control. In the same website, it has got an advert saying, make him addicted to you. 9 magic words you must say to make him fall deeply in love. So they are saying that you must not cast a spell to make people misbehave. Yet there is an advert on the same website which you can just click and see right now, and it's saying, make that man who doesn't love you because there are 9 magical words. Is that what we are advocating for here?
It is. What I'm saying here is, I have a 9-year-old daughter. She wants to know everything. So, and if I to foreclose and say I'm not going to discuss that. So,
wait a minute. That 9-year-old daughter, who I happen to know, if in the course of the RE, she now comes home and, Daddy, this your religion, I'm not following it anymore, I want to be a witch, what will you say? Because she's been taught in school and you have allowed her.
Yeah, the information she probably will have picked up will be balanced with the information we are going to give her.
So we don't know. She says she wants now to be a witch as a religion. No. So what will you say?
Dr. Johnson.
No, you permitted her. Will you now say yes? Yeah.
What I'm saying to you, Dr. Johnson, is there are more information that are available to an average child in this country. So if one of them is witchcraft and we deny a child of wanting to know about witchcraft, we could cause more damage or damages than
allowing why won't we cause more damages if she now learns about witchcraft and she decides to be a witch because it's better than any other religion? If that is the thinking, will you stop that child?
I mean, my child will not. I mean, I can only speak for my own child.
You can't speak for your child because you want to expose her to all the religions.
But I can, at the same time, cannot afford to deny her of knowing what witchcraft is all about. It's the same, like I said, here in this country, and like the last caller said, it is unfortunate that this country allows so many. It is their country. They use this rule of law to operate whatever they are doing.
Priscilla,
today, they are gay priests. Even Nigerian gay priests are available in this country.
Priscilla,
today.
before I take your last call, because we just have to go on break and discuss some political issues. You can't go away, but let me take one more call. Maybe a witch or a wizard is calling, and then we want to take your call if you are a witch. Yeah, go on. Who is calling?
Hello, Dr. Johnson and Oshedi. My name is Michael from London, from Northampton.
Okay, from Northampton. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Otumba and Johnson and Priscilla. Look, what we should understand is that Christianity was not introduced to Africa by the colonizers. And witchcraft is something that the Bible abhors. The Quran abhors it. There is, look, we are only in the country, but the only thing is that Christians and other believers live in this country. This is a secular society. They don't believe in anything that is right, because at the end of the day, it's what you teach children, that is what they will embrace.
Yeah.
I'm a very good friend of Atumba Hussein here, but I beg to differ. I took to Islam about three years ago.
Wow, welcome.
Because the Muslims practice what is in the Bible more than the Christians. How can the prince, the head of the God nation here, not say, look, enough is enough?
Okay.
We shall not go that route.
Okay.
At the end of the day, they say that we worship idols in Africa, and they say they brought Christianity. They didn't bring Christianity. It's just like saying that Bongo Park, who can discover the source of River Niger. We have to rewrite the history from African point of view, Johnson.
All right.
I like your program.
Oh, thank you very much. Of course, you have said something contentious. You said some Muslims practice the Bible more than some Christians. That's very contentious. But then we will not go there today. We will not go there today because we don't have much time from Northampton.
Welcome to Islam.
Priscilla, your last take, because that's another issue. But
That's for another day.
Another day, yes.
My last take on this whole witchcraft thing, as much as I welcome awareness, I think the target audience is wrong. I believe if this is all about the recent issues of children being beaten as a result of witchcraft, and as a result of that we want to create more awareness, then we should be speaking first and foremost to adults and not to 5-year-olds. And I think that parents should have the right to choose whether or not they want their children to be aware of this within the curriculum of what is being taught at school. I don't agree with it, and I think it's wrong, and I think it's just another way of manipulating more and further problems within society. It's bad enough as it is. We don't need to increase it.
It's everyone's right in this country to protest or agree with the government. If you agree with the government on introducing witchcraft, then you can keep quiet. But if you disagree, you can write your MP or you tell your council that you will be withdrawing your child from that particular subject. And it will be your right. And I believe that they will appreciate what you have decided upon. That's how we'll leave it. We have not had any call from any witch or from any wizard. We believe there are too few in the community, and therefore that's one of the reasons why we believe that it should not be
maybe they don't want to own up.
Because they're not very they may want to own up.
They may not want to own up.
I mean, if you're a witch, you should be proud to be a witch. I'm a Christian. I'm proud to be a Christian.
One of our callers did say that in some countries, nobody wants to know them. So that could still be the case here, and that's probably why they're not owning up.
Well, how will then allow your child to be taught something that the teachers will not like to own up in the public?
Well, that's for non-witches, isn't it? But for those who are practicing witches or wizards, I don't think they would want to own up. I'm sure that some of them even go to churches and they call.
Well, if you're a witch or a wizard, be proud of your religion. I'm proud of mine. This is how far we can go on this topic. When we come back, we'll be looking at James Ibori. Where is he right now, and what are people talking about in Nigeria and across Europe concerning yesterday's verdict? You don't go away while we go away, because you decide.
Dr. Johnson.
And the President of the Senate shall refuse to allow the claim unless he is satisfied that the matter is definite and urgent. If the claim is allowed by the President of the Senate and a leave of the Senate is given by at least 1/5 of all the senators, the matter shall stand over till the next legislative day. Not more than one such motion may be made at the same sitting.
So what's the matter?
On the 6th of April 2012, Good Friday, the economic, social, and security of the Nigerian people, particularly as regards people on the federal high roads undergoing dualization, was completely put at risk. Sir, on the 6th of April, I spent 15 hours in a gridlock between Abuja and Lokoja. Simultaneously, this was happening on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Benin Expressway, in Onitsha, and all around the country. Sir, I seek to bring a motion on this, on the completion of the federal high roads in the country, sir.
Well, distinguished colleagues, he mentioned this to me, and in accordance with our rules, I promised him that this morning I'm going to put the question. If he receives 1/5 of our votes, then it will stand adjourned to the next day for discussion. So is it the wish of this Senate that this matter be discussed the next date? Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So tomorrow.
Welcome back to You Decide. We now want to discuss the issues of James Ibori. And we must say from the studio that we have mixed feelings, not for Ibori, but for Nigeria as a nation. There was judgment, but is there justice? When the money confiscated by the British government is finally repatriated back to Nigeria, will it affect the people? We can talk about judgment, yes, but how about justice? First of all, we have this report. It says it took Justice Nicholas Peace just 1 hour to end the 5-year legal ordeal of former governor of Delta State Chief James Ibori, whom he sentenced to spend 13 years in a United Kingdom prison. The sentence ended the legal battle between the strongman of Delta State politics and the combined powers of the EFCC and the UK legal system. Effectively, Chief Ibori, who did not betray any emotion, will spend about 4.5 years in prison, considering the deductions the judge made to the conviction. Well, reaction from Nigeria is that Chief Edwin Clark, you remember him, the strong man of Ijaw, said, yes, I said so, this man was a thief and he should be convicted. The judge did not take into consideration all the things said by Justin Fashanu, John Fashanu, the footballer, I beg your pardon. The footballer has said that he was a very good man in terms of sports, but the judge discounted what John Fashanu said, saying that what he had committed was not about how good he was, but how bad he was. From the studio, you know the story, and we don't have to go through the story. James Ibori was once a student in England. During his tenure here, he committed offense and he was working with Wicks, and he stole, and he was sentenced and convicted, and he went to Nigeria as a convict and contested election and became a governor between 1999 and 2007. 8 years. In those 8 years, from being a poor convict in Britain, he became a rich man, and very rich, up to the point that he could spend millions and millions of pounds on anything he wanted. And he loaned that money, and the Nigerian government never saw him in the 8 years of being a governor. And after that one, he now ran from the EFCC. We were told that he was the one who sponsored Umaru Yar'Adua election financing. And all these things, he did all those ones, and he got away with it. You recall that Nuhu Ribadu said James Ibori gave him 15 million pounds cash and dollars, and he had to put it in the Central Bank of Nigeria. Maybe the money is still lying there. We know the story. The judge said, we are convicting you for 50 million pounds. Perhaps you have stolen more than 250 million pounds. I will put it in a billion. Well, what's your first reaction? How many of us are happy we are jubilating in the studio? We're so happy about what has gone on. Or we take it with a pinch of salt. Number one, what is the role of British banks in accepting money that are being laundered? Number two, for how long have they been watching this one that the morality of the British government now kicks in? Number three, where was Nigeria as a nation when all these were happening? How many governors have it happened to? And all these things, we who are analysts, we must take them into consideration. Let me start with you, Priscilla.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm excited, but I certainly welcome the fact that he's been convicted and he's now imprisoned. If he's found guilty of a crime, he has to do the time. What I think this whole case highlights is it's the problem that we have. And it's not just a problem that exists within Nigeria. It's a problem that I think it's also in existence here. Because a man like that, you know, suddenly coming into that position of that money, my concern, what I have seen here, what this is highlighting to all of us is that what is the role of the UK? It's not enough to say Nigeria is corrupt. Yes, it's true. We have our issues, we have our problems. But how is it so possible? Because they will tell you that we have such a thing as PPP, politically exposed persons, and therefore these people come up, they flash up when a certain amount of money is transferred or whatever. And how is it that Barclays Bank was welcoming all of this money, you know, and the money was being brought into the system and taking out various means.
But it's not the first time Britain will do us like that. It's not the first time.
And this is why I'm saying that it's not just, it's a painful, it's a painful situation to have to look at, because Britain is standing on one hand saying, we've convicted him. Oh, look at us. We are not as fraudulent as you because we have put him in prison. So does that make us good? And on the other hand, you know, we have, you know, Nigeria, if it was in Nigeria, this matter probably would have been thrown out. So who is the lesser or the better of the two evils? Neither of the countries here can wash their hands and say that they're in the right. But I think, bear with me for one moment, sir. I think this is a call, and it's shining the light on both Nigeria and the UK, the role that they're all playing in all of this. This happened, he got found out. I think it erupted because he was trying to buy a private jet. And it was from that huge transfer that money, and it wasn't, by the way, it wasn't alerted here in the UK. It was in another part of the world that the problem arose when they began to question this huge transfer of this. I'm
sure this is going to generate a lot of debate.
This is when the UK now became
very interesting.
They kicked in and started doing something.
Joining us now is Godson Azu. But before I allow Otumba and Godson to interject. Godson, you're welcome, by the way.
Thank you very much.
We very much love your analysis. Before we go into Godson's analysis and Otumba, let's try and catch a glimpse of the footage on Ibori in court. Yes, what happened in court? Let's try and see so that our discussion on this will be.
With the sentencing of James Ononofe Ibori, the former governor of Delta State, who has been given 13 years imprisonment for his part in money laundering, Nigerians in the United Kingdom have actually been divided over the issue. I have a Nigerian here who will give us his own side of the view as far as the sentencing is concerned. How are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
If you take a look at the judgment of the court today, it's been a long moment of lingering battle between James and what is the relation?
With the way the proceedings have been going on over the years, I think he personally opted for a plea because he just felt he's never going to get justice here. He thinks the proceedings are kind of biased, and standing as a black African man who has ruled in Africa as a politician in a British court where jury who are less paid is standing there and they keep talking about millions and corruptions and just spent him in the bag. I think he just felt he's never going to get any true or fair judgment, and that's why I opt for a plea. And looking at what the sentence is today, I think it's kind of severe for the alleged crime, whatsoever the crime they allege he has committed. Because number one, there's no predicate offense in the United Kingdom. The question I keep asking myself and I keep asking Nigerians to ask is, what is Ibori doing in London? What is he doing in front of a white judge? What is he doing here? Because if you go into the court and follow through the proceedings, all they're talking about is Delta State, Delta State, Delta State. The judge doesn't know how Delta State look. He doesn't know what is happening in Delta State. He doesn't understand Nigerian politics. So the question is, what is he doing here? How come he is here? What is he doing here? I don't see it as a fair proceeding, you understand? I don't want to be biased about what has gone wrong and what's not gone. As an African, as a black man, you understand, I felt, it's unfair. And you're never going to get justice from all this sort of proceedings because, you know, if you go into the court, it's about Nigeria constitution and Delta State. So how can a European judge be talking about Nigeria constitution? And how can he even understand what the constitution is saying? And what are the requirements to become a governor? So, you know, to be fair, I just think it's unruly and it's imbalanced.
And you think the 13 years given to him is unfair?
Yeah, it's quite severe.
Okay. What would you have opted for?
I don't know. I don't think he should be here anyway.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. That's one of the divergent opinions here at the Southern Crown Court in the United Kingdom over the sentencing of James Ononefe Ibori. We still have more Nigerians here who will probably be commenting on that sentencing on the show today.
Sentencing Ibori today is a good thing to Nigerian politicians, I must say. All right, because if he can teach them lessons that no hiding place for corrupt practices or corrupt politicians in Nigeria, that would be a good thing to us. We are really suffering in the land or in the midst of plenty in Nigeria, just for the fact that few people, all right, have usurped power, and now they want to share our resources the way they feel like. So sentencing Ibori today, if we can learn, that would be nice. If not, it's gonna be a good thing.
Okay, all right. Considering what is happening so far, do you think this is going to be an indictment on Nigerian judiciary?
Definitely. The answer is yes. It will be an indictment. How can a judge quash all cases against him in Asaba? So look at other ones, you know, that is coming up. I will mention that of Bankole, what of Benga Daniel, what of Akimbola. So it's a heavy going to jail. But if you have money in Nigeria, jail is not for you. Exactly. So definitely it's an indictment, and it's an appalling situation. That means whatever what EFCC is doing is nowhere. All right? They will arrest these people, they will charge them for one offense or the other. Getting to court, it becomes a different thing.
I think the issue today, if it's been sentenced here, it shows that nations in the world are not sovereign. It shows that the foreign policy of Nigeria is dead and is buried. If a Nigerian can be brought here to face the British judiciary, to go under the Metropolitan Police hands, it shows that we don't have a sovereign nation.
If you look at issues around there, you see loads of the Metropolitan Police trying to keep peace, because it's been a divergent opinion of Nigerians here. Some have actually felt that the 13 years given to James Ononefe Ibori was undeserved. Many people have actually thought that James Ononefe Ibori in the first instance should not be here, while a couple of others were of the opinion that it is justice for democracy. And of course, it's a lesson for corrupt politicians. Let's have more opinions about the judgment that has been given out to James Ononefe Ibori today.
From Atlanta, Georgia, I flew into the Manchester airport this morning to witness history. I'm very proud to be a Nigerian today, courtesy of the British government. Today, the British government have set the ball rolling. They have made a very strong statement. And today we have taken a very big first step in the right direction. Hopefully this will not be the end, but the beginning of justice, unalloyed justice. Justice for the ordinary Nigerians. Justice that cannot be bought. Justice that is missing from Nigeria. Today, I'm full of mixed feelings. On one part, I'm very sad for the Nigerian judiciary. Today, the Nigerian judiciary is indicted. They failed to get the conviction of James Ibori in the Kangaroo Court in Benin City. And their failure has manifested today because the British government, the British judiciary have done something that Nigeria could not do. They have found Ibori has pleaded guilty. He pled guilty to the same set of charges, same set of evidence, same set of facts
presented in the Nigerian
Kangaroo Court. Today he pled guilty and he was sentenced to 13 years. I feel on the other end, I feel very, very proud and happy to be standing on the side of the ordinary Nigerians.
He's charged here in the UK because the UK has jurisdiction for the offences that he's committed. The UK is signed up to the United Nations Convention on Corruption, and that means that we have an obligation to actually support and seek out corruption across the world.
Well, you've heard all those and you've watched them. I just wonder, Godson, why do we get divided when there is a judgment like this? Why is it that some Nigerians will still support an ex-governor who has been convicted of stealing? Why are we divided in Nigeria when it comes to issues like this?
Basically, I think the issue is that we have to be able to define the line. Who are those who are supporting the governor? And why and what reasons are they basing their support for him with regards to the judgment? And those who are against, supporting the British government for passing such a judgment on James Ibori. You see, one thing we have to understand is that whatever you find yourself in the society, there are those who still want to be in line with your circumstances, your positions.
Do we believe in judgment, justice, morality? I mean, if someone has done something wrong, why don't we just say you've done something, go and serve your time? All of us. Why can't we get to that position?
I mean, it's a problem. It's this issue about Nigerian mentality. We still got that mentality that has not brought us to the level of understanding in a justified world, a world where justice is an anchor to leadership, to rulership, and to governorship of a society. You could look back to the issue relating to Alamasia. If people have learned a lesson from what
no, they have not, because people are
the
now
case of
clamoring
Alamasia, the issue of Ibori would have been an issue that everybody should just lose their
people are
eye.
clamoring for presidential pardon right now.
I mean, you see, this is the problem we have in Nigeria. What I would say is that, I would say for one, the justice is good for Nigerians to learn from it. Two, the justice is not good because it has dented the image of the Nigerian character outside the world.
How do you feel
because now you
you
have two prominent, well-recognized politicians. In fact, not two. Because if we go back to the Second Republic, we could talk about Umaru Diko.
Oh, why are you
understand?
I have to beg to differ.
No, I'm just saying politicians. I'm talking about leaders, Nigerian leaders. You understand? But if you don't go back that far back, you look at Alamasia and Ibori's case in the last 12 years. These two leaders of the Nigerian political society has dented the image of Nigerian society outside the world by their character, and by their actions. No, I mean, if we're talking about rebuilding image, the issue they have created now. What I want the Nigerian government of Jonathan, President, His Excellency, President Dr. General Goodluck Jonathan, and the PDP government to look into now is how they can institute a sound system such as we have here in the UK, that is the CRB system, Criminal Record Bureau. You understand? Whereby, before you can do anything within the public sector, the private sector, a check must be done on your past, present, and history in order to be able to find your position.
But James Ibori actually falsified his age, so that he said the James Ibori that was jailed in England was not the same James Ibori that was about to contest election. So he falsified.
And I beg to differ completely with Godson. And let me say this to you: I have not seen anything British government or British court have done that is wrong. And I will tell you why.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that the British government is wrong. All I'm saying is there is two views to this issue.
Yes, I don't see any two issues. The only two issues I can see here is I hope the whole Nigeria or Nigeria government can take a lesson from here, because it shows clearly the kind of people we have ruling us, and this is really very sad. If we can afford to have many people who will falsify their qualifications because they can afford to put money to get their application to become a governor or MP and all that kind of thing, and this is the kind of the result we get. So now Nigeria, I hope, will learn a lesson that, number one, we have a government we cannot put, we have governors or we have people who are, we cannot put them in check. And you are talking about CRB. We have even better CRB application in Nigeria, but it's not working. So, and the question...
It's the same thing we don't have.
So, it's not working.
It's not that it's not working. I come back to that line. It's not that it's not working. People choose not to do the right thing.
But again, now that is why... Thank you. And that is where I come to my rule of law, my Mr. Rule of Law. Excuse me, let me finish. And that's why I say still there's something still not working well for us. For someone to get through falsifying his name, becoming governor for 8 years long, or somebody becoming Speaker of a House 8 years long, and at the end of the day, still do not do anything for the people, but ended up siphoning so much money, bringing so much money. And now, let me now by saying this, it shows clearly the kind of human beings we are. It shows clearly that when I started by saying, here is a human being who comes from a state, the most impoverished state in Nigeria is that where he come from. And I want to ask,
and
this man,
one of the richest.
Yes, and one of the richest. This man should have not only been sent, and I think after his time, he should be sent to a psychiatric hospital. Because this is yes, he should be sent to go to a place where they should examine his head. Because what does he want to do with so much money when he's seen Monday to Friday, his people languishing and suffering, they have nothing, virtually nothing, and he cannot even help their people. But bringing the money here.
Because he's the one that is being caught.
Yeah.
I don't believe that he should go to psychiatric hospital. I support. When you look at many of the governors, if Ibori should go to psychiatric hospital, in my own assessment, most of the governors should go. I agree. Most of them, if that is because there's a challenge.
They cannot see.
Abacha officially stole $2.2 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, officially, we're not talking of an official one. We're talking of a nation of rogues, and it's a shame.
I mean, Doctor,
and I'm not exonerating the British government either, because the Barclay Banks could not have pretended as if it happened during Margaret Thatcher, during Johnson.
Doctor.
If you blame Nigerians as rogues, we have rogues in Britain.
Of course,
even people who accept
Doctor, the issue remains, and it will continue to remain until things are resolved properly. Yeah, it's only the rat at home that tells the rat outside that there is fish in the house. The British government is part of our problem.
Yes.
They are the part of our problem. And the day they begin to rectify that source of that problem,
let me tell you something.
The American government in the Halliburton.
You see, because you cannot tell people to bring, if you bring £1 million into this country, we give you citizenship.
No.
And you do not want to know where they bring the £1 million from.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you. I want to disagree with you.
Gentlemen, bear with me a second. In as much as the British government or the American government, or we want to blame everybody else, we need to look within ourselves. Here is our situation. We have a judiciary system back at home who just recently threw out a case. They didn't consider public interest. They didn't consider how important that case was. They didn't consider that it was that they needed to bring that matter to court and it had to be dealt with properly. No, they probably were paid. Somebody had spoken to them, and therefore it was necessary to throw it out. Now, over here, as much as they do the wrongs and they do what they do, when it's time
outside
of justice,
they cannot be bought.
Even within Britain here, when the MPs go wrong, when it's time for justice to be served, whether it's for 2 minutes, whether it's for 5 days or for a year, justice will be served. And that is where we're lacking. And this is where we need to, and look, the corruption is everywhere. But until Nigeria sits up and begins to serve justice appropriately, we will always be subjected to what you call a humiliation of the nation. And if the nation can just sit back and accept it, then it will continue to happen. Because if Nigeria will not prosecute their own criminals, and then the rest of the world are bound to do it for them.
I mean, you could look at the case of the president.
I'm just getting it straight. Corruption is everywhere. We remember Dick Cheney, former vice president of America. He was the chairman of Halliburton. And then when he was his turn to go to jail, they paid for him. I mean, and this concerns Nigeria as well. So we're not exonerating any nation at all. Why we feel ashamed of being a nation of rogues, we're equally saying many nations, including Western nations, are rogues as well, as this case has revealed. It's only that we have to go back to our nation and say, can we continue? Can we afford to continue like this? And this is with mixed feelings. The political leadership in Nigeria has made a mess of that country and not giving us the right image at all. And we hope that people who we call in will be able to discuss responsibly on this issue, not to be sentimental, but to really look at the issue. So we want to take your calls. We want to take your Skype. Let's start with the man on. Oh, we just lost that call. You see our phone number on the screen, and let me take this, and then you can Skype us as well. Hello, who is calling? Hello, who is calling?
Hello, good morning again. It's Magistrate Madu from Northampton.
Yeah, turn down the volume of your TV so that...
It's switched off.
Okay, all right then. Go ahead.
With regards to Ibori's indictment here, I welcome that because at the end of the day, we need to be taught a lesson, especially the so-called rulers or governors. I'm not really worried about the length of jail sentence he's received because at least the minimum he would serve would be about 5 years. He'd be out because he's been in detention as well. That will be taken as a credit. Okay? Because he pleaded guilty. So the trial, he knew what he was doing anyway.
Exactly.
And he was being advised by his lawyers to plead guilty, and therefore he will receive minimum sentence. At the end of the day, he will be out in about 5 years' time. What does that say about other criminals in Nigeria? I am not happy that he was tried here, but it is our own failure in Nigeria to say that he wasn't tried and convicted in Nigeria. He's not that in Nigeria because it is in China, he'll be hanged. Because at the end of the day, this is a treasonable felony. He is trying to, his people are impoverished, and he's having millions and millions of dollars or pounds in his closet. I mean, what kind of people are we? And last year, he was given a presidential pardon. For what? Jumping bail is an imprisonable offense. I've been a magistrate for 12 years in this country. Even if jumping bail, they will lock you up.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Why is it that why did Ibori have some supporters? What were they supporting? I mean, those who went out and say we are on the side of Ibori, were they supporting his stealing nature or what?
All of us are not brilliant anyway. All of us are not brilliant because I cannot.
That's what I said earlier on.
The sentence is right, irrespective of where it was handed. In Nigeria, in the moon, in Mars, anywhere, the sentence is what it is supposed to be. You deserve it. Like that.
Okay, thank you very much from Northampton. We want to hear other Nigerians. Thank you very much. What they felt? Did they feel yes, this is the right thing? And do they feel a bit dirty? That this is happening on Nigeria. Yes. Hello, who's calling?
Hello. Good morning. This is Victor from London.
Okay, go ahead, Victor.
Hello?
Yes, we are listening to you.
Right.
Please put down the volume of your TV and listen to us directly.
Yes, I just did.
Yeah, okay.
One thing I would like to contribute about all these things, I don't support Nigerians that could go and, in front of televisions and be speaking in favor of Ibori. And I'm not against the British government, what they just did. And the only contribution, what I have to say to you now is that a second whereby we start realizing as a nation that on our own we cannot do it to tackle the level of corruption in Nigeria, that we still need support of the Westerners to tackle the level of corruption in Nigeria. So what just happens to Ibori is a good example to other Nigerians who just believe that they can just steal the money that belongs to that nation and just wet it where they feel. So that's all I have to say. We can as well see that we cannot do it on our own. I mean, it's a lot of money we're talking about. People cannot even afford.
Okay, thank you. I just have to let you go. we can't do it on our own. Maybe we just take one more call, and then we want to talk something about the World Bank president. But yes, hello, who is calling? Yes, go ahead. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Ali Valezo. I'm coming from South London.
Okay, go ahead, Ali. What is your take? Why are you happy?
To be honest with you, I would totally disagree with the last speaker because sometimes we need to be in ourselves. I am privileged to work in this country for over 10 years, and I know that Nigerians head a lot of our staff or departments in this country, and we do the role and the job well. If we say we cannot do such things, that means we are not a victim.
Okay. Hold on, Ali. Don't go. Ali, hold on. Don't go. We just have a Skype caller. Don't go, but because I want you to respond to the Skype caller, okay? Yes, Skype caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, go ahead. Oh, he's a man. Yes, Tunde. We're watching you today. Go ahead.
It's a pleasure.
Hold on, Ali.
Was obviously something dramatic at the Sodor Crown Court. And of course, if from the report that was done, we will find out that there were loads of divergent opinions concerning the sentencing yesterday. And in fact, let me tell you that had it not been for the timely intervention of the Metropolitan Police, there would have been a kind of altercation, and in fact, an exchange of altercation.
That is between the two sides, those for and those against.
And of course, the people that were saying Ibori should go to jail, and one begin to imagine why such things should actually happen. But of course, one will agree. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Summarize what you're saying now.
Yes, one will agree.
Ali, don't go, please.
That Ibori shouldn't have been sentenced.
Okay, what today was telling us is that there should have been a clash at the court, and that from between the pro and anti-Ibori. What do you say to that as a Nigerian? Listening.
Well, my name tells you where I come from, and I'm a frequent visitor to Nigeria every now and then. I'll tell you something. If is biting in the heart and mind of people as deep as it is in Nigeria at the moment, everybody can be bought over. And don't be surprised that people living in the UK or America or wherever, if they are not contented within themselves, can also be bought over. That's number one. Number two is, if you see people coming to solicit for Ibori, that means they don't go to Nigeria often. I'm always in Nigeria, and the level of poverty and what you call the malnutrition in the faces of little children that haven't got future is really, really driving me nuts. I'm telling you.
So you think those who came to the court yesterday, they have been paid?
I'll tell you something. I have been a keen observer of this proceeding. I see people flying in from Nigeria every time for this case. Do you think they're part of the people that are beneficiaries from what Ibori has stolen? Nobody in his own right of mind will take his hand in his pocket and buy air tickets to come and witness Ibori if he or she is not a beneficiary. And that is the truth.
Okay.
You understand me? Every time there's a case against Ibori, thousands of people come in from Nigeria to witness. They think it's the same procedure in Lagos State or wherever state in Nigeria that they can carry placard and say, solely that it is our man. It's not going to happen. I mean, I'll tell you something. Look at what happened to Al-Azabethia. Look at what happened to the guy in Jos. These people got a rousing welcome back. I served in Jos years ago. I knew what Jos was like when I was a service officer in Jos. I mean, if you go to Nigeria, you see that people are in abject poverty. And we're talking about one of the most richest oil nation in the world. I mean, nothing commensurates in Nigeria. I've been to some primary school. There's no roof on there for people in the school. The roof's been taken away by wind.
Okay.
And nobody's looking into it.
Ali, I can feel your passion. Ali, I can feel your passion. Thank you very much. It's only that
country that people live in poverty and they still celebrate armed robbers.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ali. We just have to let you go. We don't have much time, does it?
A quick one.
What we want to say is that Jim Yong Kim is now the new president of the World Bank, and our lady, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, said merit was thrown into the trash bin, and that merit did not take place. And what you say? You predicted, Priscilla, last time we spoke about it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking you were not charitable enough to Dr. Ngozi, but you feel bad now, don't you?
My feelings it's not about my feelings. I think it was about what was glaringly obvious. Although most Nigerians were, trumping for her and believed that she should have got the job for sentimental reasons, I might add. As much as I applaud the woman, I salute her. She does have the qualifications. She probably does have what it takes, but I think they were looking for more. And that more that they were looking for, if we look at Dr. Kim, for instance, the World Bank at the moment is seeing itself as a developing bank. And they've been on this mission for, I think, the last 5-10 years. She's been within this system. And, for her experience is just World Bank experience. When she came out of her studies, everything she did was either at the IMF or World Bank or within the UN. It's always been in that institution. It hasn't really broadened outside of that. So,
Well, she was a minister for a few years.
No, she didn't stick out the term. That's the other thing. When I think for her now, if she will focus now on this job as the minister, the coordinating minister of economics and finance within Nigeria, if she can complete this term and establish some key things, because this is a perfect opportunity for her to be able to demonstrate her abilities and capability. And I believe that this woman can more than take over from Dr. Kim in time.
Okay, before we come to Otumba and Gosi, we have a Sky caller. Otumba, we can have you before the Skype caller.
Yes, I agree with you. We said it I think week before the last week, that the timing of her candidacy was not right. And because I believe Nigeria needs her more, and she could also establish herself the whatever credentials she put into her profile could have enhanced and also enriched her chances of becoming
maybe 5 years time.
Because why the timing was wrong is, number one, President Obama cannot afford to lose the presidency to anybody, to World Bank. Second, because of the election, it's a crucial time for President of America now. And also,
previously it wasn't opened. This is the first time they've opened it out for it to be a competition. Once upon a time, it was just done behind closed doors.
Listen, I'm going to ask you, was it sensible for us at all to contest it, knowing fully well that this thing has always been between Europe and America? Was it sensible at all? Because we spent millions of naira, if not close to, I don't know how much we've spent, but we've junketed all over the place. Was it sensible at all?
It was absolutely sensible enough for us to contest this issue.
Okay, even though we knew
the World Bank presidency was still remain and will continue to remain political.
But because we knew we were going to lose.
There's no error in trial, because what the Third World want to prove to America is that we are moving into a new world.
And
we are moving into a new world where of course, we managed to prove it, because if you look at the credentials, Dr. Kim, has no basic experience in managing a world economy.
He's a medical doctor. Correct. No, he's a health development.
Yes, he's a health development. He's a health development expert. You understand?
Yes.
He's a health development expert that worked within the World Bank's departments of health development projects, HIV and whatsoever. You understand? But you look at the other aspect of it. You understand? The World Bank is an economic institution. You understand? That need to direct funds, finances that matters to development, not only on health, but development that matters beyond health. Human development, structural. I mean, he could, but it doesn't mean that he is more better than the other two. It doesn't mean. Look, what is there is that it is going to take as long as Africa and the third world has lost this challenge, it's going to take another generation for the third world and the emerging market to challenge the hegemony of America on the world. Let's forget about this issue of it is open. It is open. It is open. It is an issue that is debatable.
I think what it has done now. I think what it has done now, certainly, you know, with her contesting and everything, and I salute her for that. What it has done now, it means that the next time around, it means that the next time around,
I think we'll do second term, which is 10 years to go, and she wouldn't be able, because she is the only. She is one of the only well-trained and expert World Bank employee that we have from the third world that is in the World Bank.
I want to ask Godson a question.
Yeah.
Where would you have loved to see Okonjo-Iweala back home helping Nigeria to develop, to put all what he has to help us develop Nigeria, or in World Bank where we have
no. We need
more titles.
a symbol.
We need
a face.
We need
it's like Nigeria. It's like no. It's like me.
For you
to become one of the key players in politics.
I'm going to put my foot on this one. I understand that the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has insisted that Nigeria should start Nigeria Airways ASAP, because the British and the Virgin Airlines, British Airways and the Virgin Airlines, they said they're not going to back down on prices, and they are saying it to our faces. What do you say? Do you think we can now manage Nigeria Airways, knowing fully well that we cannot afford their bluff? And they know that we cannot afford their bluff. It may degenerate into diplomatic row, and it's a matter of demand and supply. They have said that they have enough demand for their first class and business class, and they're not backing down, and that is business. What do you say to Nigeria Airways?
I say that if Nigerians themselves, you and I sitting here, if we would all take the stand, they will back down. It's not about the issues in the governmental level alone. They will back down because, because the money is generated by those who buy these tickets. It's not generated by those who speak alone.
But we're speaking another thing now. Secondly, Otumba, Air Nigeria is coming to London on the 1st of May. Air Nigeria.
16th of May.
16th of May. So we have ARIC. Now we're having Air Nigeria. But the Senate is saying Nigeria Airways too should be resuscitated. What do you say?
I hope they will come in many number. I mean, in greater number, and they should maintain it. Because what we are saying here is the quarter of the people who are patronizing this British Airways and even the legislators. These are the people who have money, not the ordinary people. And they are not going to back down, Priscilla, because as far as they are concerned, they have business to come and do here.
The legislators are not the ones that fly. Yeah, they don't fly more than the ordinary people.
The people that are patronizing
I've done Nigeria Airways before. You think we can do it again?
We can do it again. All we need is professionalism.
That's all.
All we need is the government.
Good management.
What we need is private partnership process, whereby the government and private institutions come together and build a Nigerian Airways that will last forever. Because if you look at British Airways, it's not owned by the British government.
It's not.
People think it's owned by British government. No.
It's not.
Air France, it's not owned by French government.
No.
Siberia, it's not owned by the Spanish government. You understand? These are airlines that are run by individual investors with the regulatory body of the government supporting every loophole that may come out of it. You understand? The Nigerian government need to go back to basics and look at what can they do to resuscitate the Nigerian Airways. We can do it. We have people who can do it. If individuals can run Air Nigeria, individuals can run ARIC Airline, and they are making a lot of money out of it. You understand? Why not Nigeria and some private institutions come together and kill off this issue of we need a symbol at the same time.
Let me ask this
question. The Nigerian Airways will be a new image creator of the Nigerian society outside the world.
Okay, let me ask this question. If we have Air Nigeria flying today, or Nigerian Airways, or whichever one it is, Are we going to pay less than we pay on Virgin or on British Airways? Because Arik Air doesn't give us less pay. We don't pay less.
We don't pay less.
We don't pay
No.
less.
Yeah,
And the issue here for me is how much I pay going on a 6 hours flight compared with someone who's going on an 18-hour flight. That's what my issue is.
These things are corporate entities. They are private companies that need profit to survive. And
that doesn't mean to say they should.
You see why Nigerian Airways died was because they were not looking at profit orientation.
No.
They were looking at putting money.
There's profit orientation.
Airways was dying and people are nicking the money.
It's no longer profit orientation. If Ghana pays 4,000 and Nigeria pays 8 or 10,000, that's not market orientation. That's broad daylight stealing of Nigeria.
I want to add.
Before you add,
it's like entering BMI from here.
It's about demand and
from here to
supply.
Manchester.
We have come to the end of this program.
It's never the same price.
Gussin, we just don't have all the time. I know you want to create Nigeria Airways today, but what's your last take for everything concerning Nigeria we have discussed, or even Britain? Maybe what's your final take?
I think my final take is that politics is moving to a greater direction. We are moving into a modern form of politics.
Are we winning the war in Nigeria? The war over corruption and the war over Boko Haram. Are we winning the war?
Looking at the direction the president is taking as at this moment, I think he is standing his feet.
Okay, standing his feet
against corruption.
Thank you.
And we think he's going to do
we need to do more to improve on what we are doing now. In fairness, I must say, gone are the days where those people who are stealing our money, taking us for a ride, they cannot be mentioned. We can mention their names now. We can even fight. We can even protest. So all what we are asking the government to do now is to improve on rule of law. 3 things: laws, rules, and regulations, to make sure that we get
Priscilla,
them and put
what's
them
your
to where
take for
they
today?
belong.
My final take for today is I don't welcome witchcraft for any 5-year-old in any school. Hell to the no, that should not be permitted. I also think that ultimately it's in our hands, those of us that fly these airlines. If we decide not to get on that plane today for 2 days, I promise you that airfare will come down. The third one, I congratulate Mrs. Okojun-Wela for making the effort, for trying, because I believe that she has opened the door for more to happen. However, you are a highly skilled man. You have what it takes. Please help our economy, because I think you will do fantastically there, and we will see more. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. That's how far we can go today. If parents want to unite and decide which religious education they want for their children, I think they're free to do so. Write their MPs or even go to their counselors and determine what education curriculum they want. As for me and my house, I think we have chosen what we will worship. My name is Shegun Johnson. You can text me directly or through Ben Television, and then we can continue this discussion. If you are a witch or a wizard, please directly through Ben Television. And next Wednesday, you can call in. I'll give you a chance. Until then, God bless you.